when you think about it, nothing gets an older gent, rock hard than like a nice historical period piece about World War II.
You're not wrong, honestly. I think that goes for a lot of movies.
Hello and welcome to Cassette Take, where you can eject wherever you want, but please don't forget to rewind. I'm Ethan.
I'm Annmarie.
And Annmarie, what did we just go see?
We just got out of seeing Pressure.
Yes, Pressure, the latest film from director Anthony Maris, I believe that's how you say his name, and starring Brendan Fraser, Andrew Scott, and Kerry Condon, just to name a few.
Yeah, and first off, happy Memorial Day, everyone. We hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you to all our service members as well. Thank you so much. I honestly, this is a early access for us. We were lucky enough to see this movie early, and I really enjoyed this film.
Yeah, perfect time for them to schedule an early access screening of this on Memorial Day. Again, like Anne Marie said, on behalf of Cassette Take, thank you to all those who have served and gave the ultimate sacrifice while serving. So, yes, absolutely, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Yeah, I would say there were a decent amount of veterans that came to this screening. A lot of them bearing their caps and everything.
Yeah, it was a lot of people actually, a lot more people than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, especially with all the movies coming up. But when you think about it, nothing gets an older gent, rock hard than like a nice historical period piece about World War II.
You're not wrong, honestly. I think that goes for a lot of movies.
Yeah, absolutely. So, going into this one, I was kind of, and by the way, the rundown of this is it's about D-Day. It's about the lead up to D-Day and the forecast that decided whether or not this was going to be the day for D-Day or would they have to postpone it just because so many different variables that could really decide it all. And you don't really think about that when you think about D-Day. You just think about like the immediate landing party and what they had to deal with in regards to fire, but you don't really think about the weather.
No, honestly, Ethan's more of a history buff than I am. I know about D-Day because we learned it in school, but I don't know about it. And so this was extremely interesting because, to be honest, I would have never thought about the weather. I would have never thought that they would postpone it because of the weather. And it was so interesting because Andrew Scott plays a weatherman in this, and he really is trying to convince these people, listen, this is not gonna go well. And I don't know, history movies always fascinates me because all the behind the scenes work. And what if D-Day happened the day before? I don't think it would have been as successful. I'm putting that in quotes, successful as it was on June 6th.
Yeah, and it's just you don't really think about like all those different variables going into it, but yeah, this movie does a great job. It's only an hour 47, right?
I think it's only an hour 40. It's really short.
Yeah, it doesn't overstay its welcome at all, and it's not like a one that provides needless dramatization. I mean, yes, there are points where it's like, "Oh, did it actually go down that way with the timing?" Or, is that just a way to enhance the narrative of it all? And here it nothing really, again, overstays its welcome scene-wise and structure-wise to where it's like, "Oh, yeah, this felt like it was there for the sake of drama." No, it feels like everything is pivotal for this upcoming event, and it says what it needs to say, gets the message across, and it's like, "Alright, now remember this from here on forward and have a great day."
Well, and I think that's something that we've talked a lot about movies and runtimes, because a lot of times people freak out when they see a shorter runtime. They're like, "Oh my goodness, how are you going to fit a whole movie in it?" This does a pretty solid job with that. And I think that's important, is that the writers, the director, the editor didn't feel like they needed to push this longer. Now, we both agreed that we could have used a little bit longer, but it's not like a bad way.
Well, I don't think it's a spoiler to say that D-Day is conveyed in this movie, and I do think that they could have really channeled the stress and how long it probably felt to be on the other side of that radio signal of what's going down when you're not on the beaches and and all that. Like, I feel like they could have really lingered there more, and I don't say that about movies often, but I really wish that they lingered there more to really build that emotional, weight and stress and make it really feel like you're in that room sweating your balls off, not knowing what's gonna come in from the other end of that radio.
But that would only honestly, I would only add about 10 more minutes to this movie. I don't think you need much more.
Yeah, and honestly, those 10 minutes would just, again, go to that one part.
Yeah, absolutely. But this cast is really, really good. I know you named a few of them earlier, but Brendan Fraser, come on, this guy's awesome. And yeah, I know for you, he wasn't the best at the beginning, but he grew into the role, right?
So, going into it, judging from the trailers, I was like, "Oh," like, I understand why he was cast, like, visually, he has that kind of, like no offense to Brendan Fraser, and I don't mean this in any negative connotation, but he has that, like, bug-eyed look, you know what I mean? Like, where his eyes are kind of a little more outward.
Yeah, actually, I kind of
So
get it.
and Eisenhower had that same kinda thing going on.
Mhm.
So, like, I do understand similar facial structure and all that. But, keep in mind Brendan Fraser also is a heavier set figure.
Mhm.
He obviously didn't and I don't know, I didn't do the research to find out, like, what his, um, body build was looking to be for this movie and what his diet was or anything like that. But just I was kind of interested to see, like, oh, how will they convey it? Because Eisenhower, from everything I know about him visually, is like he's a very skinny figure, like strong build, but like skinny. Like you could see practically see his bones and all that.
Wait, really?
Like, I mean, you could at least facially, of course he's wearing like layers and layers of, you know, accolades and everything, but
I'm gonna have to Google Dwight Eisenhower.
I'm just thinking, as long as he's able to channel the presence of Dwight D. Eisenhower, because I've seen movies where maybe the person doesn't carry that same visual presence, but if they're able to carry the same character presence and channel them like spiritually to the screen, then that's a success.
Yeah.
And here, I wasn't really getting that at first with Brendan Fraser. There were some moments where his voice kind of felt a little strained at times, and I'm like, that kinda took me out of, like, "Oh, this is Dwight D. Eisenhower talking." But as the movie goes on, there were moments that really built on top of the other, and it really felt like that's Dwight D. Eisenhower right
Mhm.
there, especially with how it's shot on top of the performance. Brendan Fraser overall, I would say, great, excellent performance here. Really compensated for what he didn't have for the character, with what he could have for the character, and with what he did have with the character. He absolutely nailed it. Again, there was just one moment towards the beginning where I just didn't think it landed for me, but everything else stuck the landing with his
Well,
performance.
especially he has, like, a speech at the end too, and I felt he has such a booming voice and presence. I really felt that for his ending speech.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's able to gather that sense of, Eisenhower's assertiveness for the most part, like, I would say 98 to 99% of the movie. Again, just that one aspect towards the beginning where he's throwing a fit at Andrew Scott's character, and it just like, oh, I wish that was I wish they would've done another take on that, but
Yeah, I like Andrew Scott too. I haven't seen him in a ton of stuff. I think Wake Up Dead Man was the last thing I saw him in. I really liked him in here too.
honestly, this is one of my more, favorite performances of his. I'm not, like, an avid Andrew Scott follower, like, I'm not
You don't
very
follow his fan page?
there's a fan page?
No.
Probably there is, but
Probably.
anyway, like, I'm not banging on the theater door being like, "When's the next Andrew Scott joint coming out?" But, like, at the end of the day, I always consider him to be a great actor in whatever he's in, and, here, definitely one of my more favorite performances. There's one scene in particular in this movie where he gets some news, and the way that he just the camera stays on him, and he's just able to really capture this moment of what's going on in this character's head. Just incredible, incredible cinema.
Yes, yeah. I really like this. I always like war films because you get so much more behind the scenes. of what really happened and what went down, it made me be like, "Wow, I kinda wanna watch a documentary about D-Day," in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say this is a great predecessor to, follow up with Saving Private Ryan.
Yes.
You got there going on. Honestly, there's your trilogy. You got Darkest Hour, you got Pressure, and then you got Saving Private Ryan.
What a triple feature that would be.
Yeah, kind of like the weird double feature, which is definitely historically accurate through and through, of Oppenheimer leading into Godzilla minus one.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah, historical fact.
Out of those 3 that you named, do you have a favorite?
I would say Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I followed by Darkest Hour. Again, that doesn't mean it's a negative
No.
connotation against Pressure, but it's just those movies are so damn good that it's just, it's just my least favorite of the three. Pressure is is a great film. I'd say it's actually a great film to show students in a class when you're learning about World War II and the lead up to D-Day. Because again, it doesn't overstay its welcome. You could probably nail it, hammer it out in like 2 class periods, it being an hour 40. And, it's really fulfilling in regards to the information you get out of it and the emotional weight as well. The way that this film is edited, and Annmarie, feel free to speak about it in regards to like just the editing and structure of it all. But to me, it was definitely a really great sense of emotion that they were able to convey, of going back and forth between the soldiers to, what's at stake with the meteorology team, and you blending real footage, colorized real footage of the build up to D-Day along with footage that they shot on their own. I mean, it was just very well put together.
Oh, you know me. I love when they add real footage into a film too. I think it just elevates it to another level. And I think that was what intrigued me so much. This is real, right? Like this actually happened. And so when a editor is able to do that, I feel like it just gets my heart racing more. I knew what was coming, obviously. I knew what D-Day brought. And so when it was cutting back and forth from the battle to the war room, I felt this immense weight on myself. And I really think that comes down to the editing. And I loved the back and forth cutbacks too, because, it goes to the actors, of course. They're able to portray this heavy weight on them. But also, I think it comes down to the editing too in that scene. I will also say there's another scene. It's just so short, it's so quick. It's between Andrew Scott and Brendan Fraser, and it was after they made their decision about D-Day, and it happens in a church. And I just think how that is edited and presented in a way where both of these actors and characters realize, okay, we made the right decision here. I think it's a really powerful theme for editing as well. And so, again, I will always stand by it. Editing is like one of the most important things about movie making. And, I gotta give a huge shout out to the editor here.
It's funny you bring that up. It's interesting how many times like Andrew Scott has great performances next to or in a church. Like Wake Up Dead Man, Fleabag, now this. I mean, like I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's anything to it, but it's just interesting it happened thrice, right?
It's his hook, basically. He's like, put me in a church, I'll give you a great scene. So
Where's your local parish?
we gotta go. I gotta go film something real quick.
A trailer. No, 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 no. I need a narthex.
That's funny.
Yeah, this movie is just, I think it really nails at what it was really trying to do. And, going back to D-Day, like specifically, there is a moment of that I found very powerful, and it's just a very blink and you'll miss it kind of moment where he there's a it's demonstrating D-Day, right, on the beaches and all that. But like when one of the soldiers mounts the hill and gets
Mm,
past the defenses. There's just like a moment there of interaction between him and the enemy line, and the way that it's done, I'm not giving anything away here, but the way it's done is just so brilliant and demonstrates the horrors, but the necessities of war all at the same time, and I don't mean necessities as in, like, you need war, but, like, necessities as in sometimes in the moment, the things that you need to do for the sake of the greater good in that moment, and, I think it just really did a great job channeling that complexity within probably 8 seconds.
Honestly, that was the moment that I finally put my guard down. I'm like, "Okay, it's okay, Annmarie, I'll be alright."
Yeah,
So
and going back to the editing, the lead up to it, that was intense. Like,
okay.
for a movie like this, you think more about the dramatization of like the thing you didn't know, like the meteorology, but when it gets to the actual moment of D-Day, it's just so well put together. Within that span of 30 seconds leading up to it, it's just like your heart is suddenly pounding.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, and it's just so interesting with that, and the music does a good job of that too. I know you always like to call out the score, and so that was something that I really found fascinating with this film too, that the score was able to help with those moments.
This makes sense. Volker Bertelmann, I hope I pronounced that right, who also did Conclave and All Quiet on the Western Front, did the
Oh.
music for this movie, which makes a lot of sense because it is, in fact, a great score. And yeah, it definitely really does a good job of that ticking of like, okay, time is at stake here, while also demonstrating like just the intricacies of all. Oh no, it's just such a great job of does such a great job of reinforcing each scene and carrying it into the next, and is there when it needs to be and doesn't overstay its welcome like the movie itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with that, Emery, we gotta rate this thing.
Oh, yes.
All right, so out of oof, I can't get too silly with this because it's
You
serious.
can't.
Out of 10, I don't know, forecasts.
Sure.
Yeah, out of 10 correct forecasts out of 10, how many would you give Pressure?
I'm gonna go with a 9. I really did enjoy this film. I did not think, not like I wasn't gonna like it, but I felt like going in, I wasn't gonna have any feeling towards it. And this movie really turned it around for me. I really did enjoy it. I love learning about it and just all the stuff behind it. Cheyenne would have absolutely loved this movie because she loves weather, by the way. And so I think she would have found it fascinating as I did. And so great performances all around. The editing is very well done here. And you know what? Like, yeah, I agree with you absolutely. I think this is one that you could show to a classroom and show, there was so much that went in here. And so I really did enjoy it. And so I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
I'll probably have to join you in that realm of 9 out of 10. Teeter-tottering about 8 to 9 out of 10, but, like, probably at the end of the day, I'd give it a 9. My only gripes with it are, again, just that one moment where I'm like, "Did you really wanna use that take with Brendan Fraser?" And then I wish Dean Gay was a little longer to demonstrate I feel like it kinda happened a little too quick. Overall, though, the pacing and structure of it was brilliant, but, yeah, I just feel like there could have been you could have made it last a little longer to make it truly have that emotional and strenuous weight there. Brilliantly done. The performances are great. The direction is great. Cinematography is great. Score is great. And yeah, it's definitely one that it got applause at the end of our screening. So, you know, outside of our own view, there's definitely a great crowd out there that loves this movie as well. So yeah, I gotta give it a 9 correct forecasts out of 10.
It just needed 10 minutes longer.
Yeah, 10 minutes longer. But guys, that is Pressure. We got an early access screening, but maybe you were part of the early access screening too. Did you see it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you think it could have been longer? Do you think it could have been shorter? Are you planning to see it after this Memorial Day weekend when it's fully out distribution wise? Whatever you're thinking, let us know your takes on our tapes in those comments down below. And with that, Emery, I think that about does it for us.
Let's wrap it.
All right, guys, thank you for joining us on this wonderful cassette take journey here with Pressure. We hope you haven't ejected thus far into the podcast, but whether you have or haven't, please don't forget to rewind. I've been Ethan.
I've been Annmarie.
And again, thank you so much to the men and women that sacrificed everything on this Memorial Day. So God bless you.